Hey, what is going on everybody, and welcome to Fantasia. For today, we're going to be jumping into another session of Epic 7 now today. Got some more summoning for you guys. That's right, we're going to be starting off with a 5-star, wait, what? We're going to be summoning for Aram here, and I did have this ongoing little, free summon event that's going on. I haven't been recording these, but yeah, I figured because we have it, why not share it with you guys today before we jump into the actual summons for Aram. Really excited to pull her here, and we have these like free little Covenant bookmark things that we can use now too. So if you're unable to get your Aram, just wait and try to farm more of the bookmarks from the event, right? The Epic Dash event. And hopefully you'll be able to snag her there. Those bookmarks can only be used for a limited time anyway, so why not just burn them on her summons, right? I have 40 of them right here, so why not start with those? Perhaps we'll get lucky, who knows? And if we don't, well, we're just gonna have to dip in and use our actual bookmarks here. Let's go ahead and continue using these bookmarks. And unfortunately we can't do a multi-pull with these right now because, well, oh, 4-star? Yeah. We couldn't do a multi-pull with these because we don't have enough currency, and they don't let you mix and match the currencies when you do your pulls. So let's do one more of these. I think that should be it, right? That was... no? One more? Oh, a lot of 3-stars here. It's fine. Still summon again with that the limited currency. That's not bad. You get so many free summons, and I hope they do more of this just in the future. It just really helps newer players out with obtaining units and such. Right? There we go. Okay, finally burned through the limited currency. Now let's just go ahead and use our regular bookmarks here. Been saving up quite a bit, but hopefully, oh, we got a 5-star. Hopefully we get the artifact. I kind of really want the artifact as well. Limited artifacts, you never know if they'll ever come back, right? Okay, so, really hoping, let's do a little skipperoo on these little 3-stars here. Okay, is it gonna be the artifact? It is! It is! No, we got... We got 50-50! Okay, wait, is this... oh, okay, no. I thought it was gonna be Aram, because she's a Soul Weaver, I believe. So, okay, artifact? Not a 5-star. Aw, shoot. Okay, well, Touch of Rekos is actually a really good artifact to have anyways. I'm not really complaining. Let's just dip back in. By the way, if you didn't know, you can't get 50-50 on the 5-star hero. You're always guaranteed Aram. She's the only 5-star here. But for artifacts, there's a chance to not get it, right? Queen's Whistle, only 1.05%, but there's a 1.75% of getting a 5-star artifact. So yeah, it's not even 50-50, honestly. It's even less than 50-50 chance of you getting an off-banner artifact. So anyway, we got a little screwed there. It's fine. This is an all 3-star pull? Nope. Got a little spook here. Oh! Wait! What? We just got another 5-star artifact. Shepherd of the Hollow, but that's not the one that we're looking for. Oh, another chance? Nope, it's a 4-star. Okay, Rosa Hargana. I mean, I'll take it. Is it 4-star as well? Okay, cool. I mean, I'm not complaining, honestly. Give me these 4-star artifacts, I'm gonna sell them for powders. But Shepherd of the Hollow, also really strong artifact, super good for thieves. Nope, 4 stars here. Alright, you never know. You never know when something's gonna start just emanating sparkles from them, right? Ooh, Victorica, I do need more imprints for her, so that is nice. That is a 4-star artifact. Some of you guys have always been asking, like, oh, I actually really need extra copies of Caladra. I'm trying to max imprint another one. Some of you guys are asking, like, hey, Asa, when do you know when there's, like, a 4-star or a 5-star, right? When you see, like, a golden glow like this, it's a guarantee that there's going to be a 4-star in here, right? So, for example, here, it's going to be a 4-star. When there are sparkles that come out of the gold glow, then you'll know that you're guaranteed a 5-star. Now, you could get a lesser animation, like oh, let's see, that's sparkles, 5-star here. Okay, you could get something that's all blue, and then there's no gold, and then halfway through the summon it'll change gold and like give you a 4-star or 5-star, right? It's just the visual animation that's, oh, I think we got Aram. Yeah, there we go. Very nice. It's just the animation that sometimes, plays with you a little bit. Alright, Aram, guys. She is going to be absolutely amazing. I think she's pretty much going to be, like, a first pick, like, in every match, right? Just essentially just first pick all the time. Because why wouldn't you? She's good when you go first, she's good when you go second. I can't wait to go ahead and just build her right now. So we'll go ahead and do that. We'll be back with the little unit showcase. Alright guys, so let's go ahead and jump into the unit showcase here. We see the stats in her build. Currently I have my Aram at +10. Plus I know this video is coming out a little bit later than usual. You guys have already seen her in RTA and all of the action there. But I still want to showcase her in Arena to kind of give you a better sense of matchups that you can do outside of RTA, because she is really strong on an offensive team in Guild Wars and in Arena specifically. But this is currently my build here for her. She's on counter, she's on resistance, and her artifact here is going to be Shimadra's Staff, which allows her to increase the effect res of everyone on my team and increase the healing output by 40%, which is actually kind of nice if you pair her with other units that heal, have lifesteal, have Sigurd or Golden Rose on their artifact slots. And her S1 actually heals quite a bit. I believe it's 12% of her max health. So whenever she counters an S1s or whenever she S1s on her own turn, she's going to be healing for over 2,000 something health. And with this artifact, she's really going to be healing everyone for like 3,000 HP, which is kind of nice. Her effect res isn't really high, but if your opponent's going first, she gets 3 turns of immunity anyway. So this is going to work out pretty nicely. 240 speed is a nice sweet spot for me, keeping a little bit of bulk. I don't want to go too much faster and become too much squishier, but you don't have to be this fast if you're on counter. I've seen some people go 260 something on like a speed set as well. That can definitely work as well. And protection set too, highly recommended. So what better way to showcase Aram than to take her out with my trusty Charles over here. Now my entire team is built with effect resistance. We don't really care too much because we do have that 3-turn immunity at the start of the match. But yeah, Harsetti's gonna be on the other side, which means when she starts the turn, everyone on my team gets a 3-turn immunity buff, and that is essentially gonna stop my opponent from debuffing us at all. Look at all the resistances, right? So Shimadra's Staff boosting up the effect res of everyone as well. And look, when Harsetti opens up with an AoE, not only do you give Vigor, which increases attack and defense, but you also increase speed. Speed is honestly negligible when you're fighting Harsetti though, keep that in mind, because yeah, Harsetti nullifies all speed with her passive. So at this point, I can just S1 to heal. There's no reason for me to push anybody up here. I can use the next turn to push people up. The speed RNG was not really in my favorite here, but you can see she's just topping everybody off with that S1. Pretty nice. Tenebria is going to come in with an S3, but hopefully we have enough effect resistance. ML Arya gives everyone effect res. Oh, see, there you go. ML Arya comes in with the effect res on everyone. Charles and DJB, everyone's naturally built with a little bit of resistance, so we should be okay. I can go ahead and cleanse here and push up and replenish the immunity, although I don't think I really need to. Be very honest. We could just hold off on this. So let's go ahead and try to stun the Dragon Bride Senya here. Hopefully she's not built with resistance. There you go. Most Dragon Bride Senyas are not. They prioritize HP instead. And at this point I could probably go for a Charles play. I can Soulburn this if I want to, but I'm going to hold off on that. We can probably Soulburn ML Arya or somebody like that later. So we'll go for the S3. It's a lot of damage. Pretty nice. Look at all the buffs on Charles, right? Charles with Aram is actually really nice here because when he has 3 or more buffs, he's guaranteed to go for the S1 into an S2, right? So it's pretty good. I can now go ahead and Soulburn the S3 here. Let's go ahead and try to finish off. I honestly don't care about the Tenebria right now. Let's try to finish off this Dragon Bride Senya as fast as possible. So we'll go for the Soulburn extra damage here. Beautiful stuff. Oh, that's actually a lot of damage. Okay, and look at this, right? We are going to S1 into an S2. We have the counter attack buff here. Look at that damage output from the Charles. It's insane stuff. Okay, so obviously Aram here not going to be able to take the turn. However, DJB can potentially cleanse this rupture buff if I want to. I believe I will. Let's regain some momentum here. And while Aram's S3 is not really going to do a whole ton for resetting something like Charles, it actually could do a whole ton in resetting something like my ML Arya, right? So let's go ahead and Let's go ahead and try to finish off this Dragon Bride Senya here. Charles' S3 is kind of cool for putting up some buffs for the team, but the main thing with him is that once he gets his buffs up, you don't really need to get his S3 up immediately, right? Arya, ooh, actually, Arya will have her S3 up because I soul burned anyway. Let's go for the Harseti, trying to not hit the Yufine before she takes her turn here. Alright, there we go, got some counters here. And yeah, Aram, you might be looking at her like she's not really doing all that much. You haven't popped her S3, but honestly, in a lot of cases, when you need this S3, you're going to be able to just pop it when you need it. A lot of people in RTA try to hold off on this skill and like use it to nuke with like a Dragon Bride Senya or something else to swing the momentum in your favor. Now at this point, DJB can barrier invert. I can honestly just push up Charles here for some extra damage. So the combat readiness and the reset, it's all really nice. And also she does give this buff, which is the weak spots buff, right? Exploiting weak points, which increases your damage by an extra 20%. It's actually really, really nice. Now Charles, his counter buff would wear off here. I'm just going to go ahead and S3 just to replenish that counter attack buff. There you go, really useful for situations like this. Now obviously I did end the match there, but in the case that the match was going longer, Charles now replenished his counter attack buff, and you can still maintain 100% counter uptime with him, which is really cool. Okay guys, so with this team here, we're going to go a complete 180 from what we just did, and we're going to go for a very aggressive draft. My opponent is a pretty defensive team. I know there's an Empyrean Ilanov there too, which means defense penetration skills won't do as much damage, but Genoa being Genoa should be okay here. We also have a Seaside Ballon and a Mort to contend with, but let's see what Aram can do for this team in this type of situation, right? Going into this, my Emma Politis should be opening up first, which means we do get an effectiveness buff on everyone on my side, which is very nice. This allows me a greater chance to push back my opponents here and put the speed down on them. And when I do that, I'll be pushing up my Hua Young here. She will have a rage buff and attack buff, but no vigor buff. No biggie, we still get to push up here, and we'll be able to go for an S3. With the S3, we'll push up the unit in the backline by 50%, which means we're going to push up our Genoa to take the turn. And Genoa with a rage buff, you guys know, is going to be insane damage. Right, Hua Young is going to take a beating here. There is going to be a barrier that comes up on the other side, but do not worry. We're going to go for an S1 here, and hopefully the follow-up attack is... Ooh, I did not really want that dual attack there. There you go. Good damage onto everyone. The splash damage is still pretty nice, even though the defense penetration resistance is helping keep the boss of Luca alive. Right, Hua Young will take the beating here. She's going to go down, but she did serve her purpose, right? My team right now is really far back in the combat readiness meter, but it's okay. Genoa's actually going to proc here, which is kind of nice. He's going to push himself up. Aram was going to push him up anyway, but this is not terrible. In fact, because Genoa got pushed up, I can honestly probably just push up the Seafan and Politis here. You can actually do some shenanigans with this. So if I push up, let's say we'll do this, right? Push up the Seafan and Politis, you have another S3 that you can use, and you can replenish rage buff yet again. So you can have like, honestly, like an infinite looping rage buff Genoa. I'm gonna do this so I can try to strip this barrier on my opponent's side. Right, that's going to be a lot of health I do not have to deal with anymore. And look at this, speed down on everyone too. Let's go for a greater attack buff now, why don't we? It should be kind of nice in terms of damage output here. Seaside Bellona will be attacking us, unfortunately. Hopefully she doesn't deal that much though. Okay, I spoke too soon, but look at this. Got a vigor buff, got a speed buff. And a speed buff, guys, with a rage buff here. Speed by 20%, speed by 30% when there's a speed down on my opponent's side. It's honestly kind of nasty. Seaside Bellona is not going to be able to go here, so we might as well just go ahead and attack the Mort, right? Genoa's going to finish him off. Very nice. Aram's going to go. Now, if I soul burn here, I could potentially stun my opponent. So let's go ahead and try to stun. We have an effectiveness buff. Look at that, guys. Aram at her full potential here, just allowing you to kind of cheese your opponents a little bit, right? Dispel that barrier. Look at this Genoa go. Just absolutely insane unit. We already have a greater attack buff. There's no reason for soul burn. And look, you can just cut through the tankiest of teams as long as you're kind of making sure that you're resetting your cooldowns at the correct time. Alright, let's go ahead and jump into this team here. Now, everyone on Aram's side is actually a really good partner for her. You can reset Krau's S3 to nuke, like twice in a row if you really wanted to. You can reset your Numu Luna to debuff, right, once again if you really wanted to. And, I mean, Midnight God Lilius, guys, the fact that you can use your S3 and nuke everything, two things, is kind of crazy. But we are going to go for the bigger buff here because this Firelitica decided to go for an S2 to open up. And thankfully for us, look at this. Basically nothing happened, right? We have a 3-turn immunity on everyone here, and because Firelitica can't strip that, we're safe. Yeah, this is crazy, honestly. So Last Rider Crow, I put him in here, or sorry, not Last Rider Crow, Ice Crow, I put him in here so that Rinok would just attack him. It's kind of the best option for me right now. I will try to go for a, ooh, I guess he's gonna cleanse anyway, so it doesn't matter, but let's try to soften up the... Because I'm not going to use Midnight God Lilius's S3 just yet. Let's go ahead and do this. Let's go ahead and break the skill null on this Empyrean Ilanov. See what happens. There we go. Ooh, she's on a counter build. Don't really like that, but it's okay. Midnight God Lilius is going to come in. We're not going to S3 because I really don't want her to attack when... Oh, when Empyrean Ilanov still has her passive. But I guess we finished her off. Okay. I mean, I'll take it. So, at this point... we'll just go ahead and break the skill nulls here. Keep in mind that Arena did reset, so we are in the Challenger tier right now. I think Challenger 1. So we should be going back into Champion really, really soon. But until then, some people might forget some gear on their defense teams. I think that Empyrean Ilanov might have forgotten, but it doesn't matter either way, because what would happen is this. You would wait until you loop around like this, right? The turn order is still fantastic, because Midnight God Lilius is faster than Aram, so we're going to go ahead and Soul Burn and strip everybody of their buffs. Seal everyone, too, so if Empyrean Ilanov was here, she really wouldn't get anything done anyway, so it wouldn't matter, right? Midnight God Lilius can now come in, and we can potentially nuke somebody. We're going to go right after the DN here. Alright, she should have enough HP that we can penetrate it. Yeah, there you go, for a good chunk of damage. And at this point, honestly, I could push up the Crow. He can S3. I can push up Gala again, and she can do a bunch of work too. I'm gonna push up the Gala just because I can. Now, unfortunately, I was gonna use the S3 on Empyrean Ilanov and then use the S3 onto DN. I don't think anyone here has enough HP for me to really get value out of this next S3. So I'm just gonna go into this this Rinok here. I do have the extra 20% damage output, and Rinok stole some stats from Crow, right? So we're still dealing a good chunk of damage, which is not bad. And now my Luna can come in. Hopefully the splash damage finishes off the Rinok and the DN. Yeah, there you go. Beautiful stuff. And then your Crow can come in with an S3, right? So the cool thing with units like Crow is if you're low on health, you can like S3 and then you can push him back up and he can S3 again. I know he heals back some HP, but if you're low enough, and you can finish off like 2 units potentially, right, with nuking with Crow back to back, which is actually kind of cool. Alright, so we're going in yet again with another team where everyone kind of benefits from Aram's S3. Midnight God Lilius we can use to nuke potentially the LRK or the Mort here. Dragon Bride Senya, if you get an S3 off, you could just push her back up and get another S3 off and just penetrate a ton of defense with that, especially once she procs from the backline with her passive. Then her S3 becomes AoE and very potent. And likewise with Fire Crow here, because we used Ice Crow in the last match, I thought Fire Crow would be kind of fitting to use here. Using Fire Crow is actually really cool as well, because you can come in here and nuke with your S3 and then come back, reset him, and then nuke again with your S3, right? Better to be used with some Soul Burn shenanigans, but it's okay. We're going to push everyone up with Gala. We didn't manage to kill anyone here, but it's okay. This Fire Flan honestly seems like she needs to go. So let's go ahead and Soul Burn this and see if we can take her out. She has a really big barrier from the Last Rider Crow, so I don't think it's going to happen. Yeah, it's not going to happen, but you know what? We could honestly just push up yet again and try this once more. Firelitica's going to go. It's okay. I think I'll... let's see what I'll do. Because the Mort is a little bit of an issue here, I'm going to push up the... Actually, Gala seems like she's going to go anyway before the Mort, right? Ooh, this is a little bit interesting. Oh no, Gala's not. Sorry, that's my Dragon Bride Senya that's over there. Okay, we can push up the Gala. I'll do this. I'll push up and reset the Gala. And we should be able to finish off the Mort. We don't start with immunity here because My units actually went first. My opponent's Litica is actually relatively slow. I thought she was gonna go first so we get the immunity buff, but it's okay. Even then, regardless, you get to see how Aram's gonna work with resetting your DPS units, right? Taking out the Mort there, beautiful stuff. Litica is gonna get debuffs though. This is kind of actually a better showcase because we're getting screwed because this is not what I expected from the turn order here. Dragon Bride Senya, I'm actually not gonna do anything and just hit the Flan, break that skill null there. Good little dual attack. Kinda good actually. I did need that. Okay, Last Rider Crowd's gonna come in for some damage. Not gonna be great for us, but you know what? We can probably still go for an S1 here. I'm restricted, so I can't do anything. Okay, there you go. I can't push up my like combat readiness with Crowd's S2. He just oh my god, that looks like it's a DPS Fire Litica here, so look at Aram's healing, right? 3k heal on a single S1 is honestly not bad. So Shimadra Staff is something I've been testing right now just because I'm on counter. You can obviously go for things like Celestine and some other things as well if you're trying to boost up your healing. Let's now go for the S3 on the Litica, try to finish her off. Unfortunately, Gala's gone in the back line, so we don't push anybody up here. But there we go, we finished off the main DPS, and now Aram gets to just kind of heal, right? Look at the healing, it's honestly not bad at all. Now let's come in with the S3, Crow versus Crow, and we can finish things. Yeah, so Aram's really strong utility. We're going to try to fight some more Harsetti teams, and I know that's what a lot of people are going to be running into on Arena defenses and in Guild War defenses. We'll see how that goes. Okay, so for this next match here, we're actually going to go up against a really common defense team, right? Harsetti, Afternoon Soak Flan, the Great Mortelix, Young Senya. A lot of people have trouble with this team because they're just super annoying. You can't counter, you can't go first. They're going to dual attack with Harsetti and Mort for a ton of damage. They're going to defense break you with these guys, actually, and then dual attack into you with the Flan. And, of course, Young Senya with the healing, the extra damage. You can't hit her, right? She punishes you for so much stuff. We're going to go into this with a all-fire team, actually. Aram's going to be kind of helping to reset units here, potentially, like the Fire Crow, but her Vigor buff is going to help out once Harsetti hits us with an AoE, because Ken benefits from Vigor, our Fire Crow benefits from Vigor, and Tori, of course, benefits from any buff. So we're about to load up Tori with buffs and see how much, you know, cascade damage we can consistently pull off here. She also has the potential to nuke our opponents, too, so look at this. Right? Look at all those buffs right here. Tori is absolutely stacked. Now, right now, with my Aram, I kind of don't want to go for anything. Let's just go for an S1. I don't want Mort to counter. I'm not going to hit him. Actually, well, hitting him has the same chance of proccing a counter, but let's go for a little bit of healing right here. Okay, he is going to proc anyway. He's on Elbrus. Okay. So, I basically healed everyone back up to full health, right? So, Aram's healing is not too shabby at all. I'm going to go for an S3 here. We didn't proc the Cascade buff, but we will get it with this hit. Right, or with this turn. See, get the Cascade buff here. We're going to Soulburn this, and I think, honestly, I kind of want to finish off the Great Mortelix if I can. So, let's go for this hit here. Gonna be a free soul burn. Oh, look at that damage, guys. Absolutely amazing. Now at this point, when Ken S2s, he has 100% chance to decrease defense of the opponent. Right, he ignores res here. And I'll dual attack with the ally with the highest attack, which is Tori. So that's gonna be very strong. I'm probably, honestly, just gonna go into this Young Senya. I think I can probably kill her. Let's try doing it. We're gonna ignore res. Alright, defense break that Senya. Oh, she actually, okay. Forget that. She does cleanse immediately when reaching the full fighting spirit. I thought she wouldn't, but that's all good. Tori gonna eat a ton of damage, but she's still stealth. She still has the barrier. We're still okay. He is gonna push up a little bit though, and Flan will come in for some damage. We're gonna be alright. Aram is pretty tanky. Let's see if we can counter. Oh, we do get a counter, and look at that. Good healing for everyone. Keeping everybody topped off and staying alive. Now, let's go for a soul burn with our Crow. Gonna try to kill this Afternoon Soak Flan. I don't think we can do it, though. He did get some CR pushing, which kinda sucks. Yeah, look at that barrier from the Mort. It's helping him quite a bit. Aram does go down here, but she kinda did her job, honestly, with setting up the team for success. And my Crow, I think for Crow, honestly, for Crow, we might just go for an S... Should I go for an S1 or an S2 here? We'll go for an S2. I think it does a bit more damage. Let's try to get this Afternoon Soak Flan out of here. Even on this, there you go, 3,000 damage, perfect stuff. Unfortunately, Tori does go down here, but we can come in with an S3 of our own. Let's go into the Harsetti. Okay, so we're now left with just two bigger scaling units, right? But we did replenish our own bigger buffs. Ken with his own S3, and then Crow with his own S3 too. Let's see if we can finish this off. This is not like an ideal team that you want to take in. I kind of want to try Ken for fun. Mostly because in all the showcase videos you do see Ken being brought along, but it looks like... it looks like that's not good enough, guys. Okay. It's all good though. We should be able to finish off this this Harsetti here. Right, it's a lot of damage that we just took, but let's go for a Soul Burn. Finish off the Harsetti. And we should be able to stun this young Senya on the next turn, right? Because we have the bigger buff here. We do heal, which is wonderful. And we should be able to stun, push her back a little bit, and then we should just chip her down with the S1s. So I think we're still okay. Alright, there we go. She's going to lose this turn. Fantastic. And then Crow's going to come in and Soul Burn. So unfortunately, probably not the greatest showcase of Aram here. I don't think she even popped her S3. So it does go to show that there are some risks with holding her S3. You kind of want to use it before she goes down. But at the same time, you don't want to use it too preemptively, because then you don't really get the full benefits of resetting the cooldowns and having a unit essentially take 2 turns, right? So if you were taking these Harsetti teams a little bit more seriously, one way that you can actually go into this is just tack in Aram into any typical offense that you would bring into these Harsetti more A-Flan teams, right? You can bring your own Mort to stop the opponent's Mort from, well, giving everyone a gigantic barrier. You saw in the last few clips, every time Mort was there and he procced a barrier, he essentially prevented people from dying on his team, which was really annoying. But here, neither Mort can counter because their passives cancel each other out, and we have young Senya to counter the Harsetti. Aram here as well with the Harsetti is going to be a double whammy, and then we are bringing our Afternoon Soak Flan just for some really consistent damage output. So if you were to play a little bit safer, if you're actually trying to climb and you have these units in arena or potentially fighting in guild wars, right, you could use a team like this, perhaps not exactly like this because you can only have 3 units, but yeah, look at this. We got the vigor buff, speed buff, immunity buff, and then young Senya comes in for a lot of damage. I can S3 to put up the continuous healing buff, or at this point, I can just S1 and then delete like Mort from the game, right, which is absolutely amazing. And then you can come in and potentially hit this Empyrean Illinow for a ton of damage too. Let's go for that. Not gonna Soul Burn. I don't think there's a reason to do so just yet. There we go, and then we'll come in with the Mort's S3. It should penetrate defense too, but, you know, the Empyrean Illinov is going to mitigate some of that. It should still kill. There you go, look at that beautiful stuff. And at this point, it's just a Flan. So what can you do? You could reset your own Flan. You can reset anybody you wanted. You can come in with a double Mort S2 if you wanted, right? Disgusting stuff. But we're going to come in with Flan. I am just going to S3. There's no point in Soul Burning here, because it would only miss, right? We can't land the defense break, but it's still good damage there onto the Flan. She's going to hit our Senya. She's the lowest percent health between her and Mort. Not much damage there, which is fantastic. At this point, we could probably just push up the team. Probably could have Soul Burn, or sorry, not Soul Burn, but dual attack there, but we only have 2 focus with our Flan anyway, so we'll just dual attack and heal with our Aram. S1 with our Flan, and then Mort can come in and dual attack and finish off the job. Right, so pretty safe, pretty good team. Aram just trivializes a lot of these Harsetti matchups. Even when we were trolling with the Fire Ken, it was still doing a lot of work. Okay, so this team is going to be a little bit risky because there's a Rinok on the other side along with Dragon King Sharoon, so we're going to be eating a ton of cascade damage onto everyone when Dragon King Sharoon S3s. However, I'm feeling lucky today. Let's see what happens when you go into a really fast, aggressive, explosive damage team like this. We see the Empyrean Illinov getting targeted by the Rinok, which is honestly fine. We do mitigate this penetration damage from the S3, but we don't mitigate any of the splash damage, so we can still take, yeah, a good chunk of HP here. Now, the good thing is, I still have my young Senya. She is going to be able to heal and cleanse the team here. Look at this. Beautiful stuff. Once she takes the turn, that is. Charles is going to come in and actually S1 to an S2. Beautiful. Okay, and we get a little bit of healing from Charles, too, which synergizes with the artifact that we're currently on with our Aram. So there we go. Unfortunately, the Empyrean Ilanov doesn't get the bigger buff, but it's okay. We will get Indomitable very soon once we take a turn with her. Boom, we take some extra damage, and we're going to push up the team. So, at this point, everybody here still has immunity, at least the important units like Charles and Aram, and so I don't really care too much about the Pirate Captain Flan. We are in a situation where I think she's still the best option to take care of, because I don't want that S3 to come in and cascade damage everybody, so we'll just go ahead and take care of her right there. And Aram now has the choice of pushing somebody up. Now, I can push up the young Senya in S3 again, I can push up the Empyrean Ilanov, and we can go for some decent damage. I'm gonna push up the Empyrean Ilanov. And this is actually a great way, if you had like more debuffs on your team, you could just use Ilanov and push her up and then have her cleanse, right? That could be a pretty cool way of approaching things. The Oath of Punishment is already out here, so I might as well, honestly, I might as well just go for the S3 here, yeah? Do we even soul burn? Oh yeah, we soul burn this. There's nothing to save it for. Doesn't give us extra damage, just reduces our cooldowns here, but it's all good. Rinok and Dragon King Shroom both go down, and now, because Empyrean Ilanov got her S3 reset, we can come in, replenish the Indomitable, right, in case we had lost it with anybody, and boom, get some injury down onto this Dragon Bride Senya. Only 21k HP now, so we won't be taking as much damage, and Charles should be able to counter this because we have the buff. Oh, and Aram too, look at that, again, 3,000 healing, so consistent, along with Charles's S2 healing on himself. I mean, I know he finished off the opponent, but look at that, another 3,000 HP healed. This is actually a really nice way to sustain yourself in longer battles. Okay guys, let's do something a little bit silly here. So on my opponent's side, they have a very tanky team. You guys probably seen this a lot in Arena as well, right? Boss Arunka, Empyrean Ilanov, either Harsetti or Rebellion or ML Arya here, and then a Fallen Cecilia, right? It's just a super tanky team. It's slow, but Harsetti makes it so you can't really go fast unless you go Zeo. Aram actually works well with Zeo in this case, but I wanted to showcase something that's kind of a little cheesy. With Abyssal Yufine here, she's going to be taking a lot of the hits from these two light units. So as they attack Abyssal Yufine, she'll charge up her trauma really quick, and then you can dump that on them with an S3. But then afterwards, you can reset her cooldowns, and you can essentially like do your trauma again really quickly right after it wears off. So we'll see if that can actually work. If not, we'll just go ahead and reset our Last Rider Crow. Now I know Empyrean Ilanov on the other side essentially makes it so Last Rider Crow doesn't penetrate defense, but that's why we brought in our New Moon Luna, right? Look at this counterattack. Beautiful stuff, guys. Look at this. Honestly, our Abyssal Yufine is probably going to get her trauma, like, immediately, right out the gate. So we get to see how this works out. Okay. Aram's going to go. She is honestly just going to S1 here. There's no one to reset. The turn order is not in my favor. We're going to eat some counters. It's fine. We have immunity, so no defense breaks or anything. And our Abyssal Yufine will go for an S1. And now we have full rage, right? Full rage here. Hopefully don't get we get defense broken. It is fine. I hope it is fine. We're going to be eating quite a bit of damage from this Fallen Cecilia as well. Okay. We're on lifesteal though, so we do heal a little bit. Aram, look at that Aram healing actually. Bringing up that Abyssal Yufine HP quite nicely. So now, they don't really have any cleanses, right? Empyrean Ilanov used her S3, Fallen Cecilia S3'd, so I'm just going to go ahead and soul burn this S3 here. Going to prevent my opponents from mitigating my penetration damage from Last Rider Crow, and I can just unleash Last Rider Crow's S3 right now. I am not going to ooh, do I want to soul burn this? I will soul burn this actually, just because I think it would help with Harsetti attacking us with an AoE afterwards to help us reset pretty quickly. Last Rider Crow getting some immunity on everyone, very, very nice. Okay, so now we can come in here and try to defense break. We defense break, we do not defense break. We could actually push up our Abyssal Yufine right now. I kind of don't want to risk her dying here, so I'm just going to do it. Unfortunately, we're not going to see the the double trauma Yufine, but it's all good. Still really nice for just pushing up your units, right? We get the exploiting weak points. We have the cleanse. I can come in with the S3 now. It's going to be a whole ton of damage. And then we still have a Soulborn for the S1 too. See, push everybody back. Look at this, and we have immunity too, so he can't really hurt us. See, look at that. That's one of the reasons why I didn't want Basaruka to attack us when we were defense broken. That would have been devastating to lose Abyssal Yupine right there. And this Basaruka has 100% counter rate, so, you know, a pretty realistic showcase of what you might run into. Okay, there we go. Fallen Cecilia dies, and oh my god, look at that damage, guys. This Basaruka has 100% counter rate. So this is typically, if you're playing an RTA, this is essentially what you'll see. Your opponent will always counter you no matter what, and unless you kill them, like we just did right there, you're never going to be truly out of danger. So I'm going to hit the Harsetti here, heal up the Yufine, keeping us nice and alive. Let's go ahead and defense break this Empyrean Ilanov, if that's possible. Nope, she resisted. Okay, that's fine. Good little counter. Look at that. Yufine honestly wouldn't be alive without the additional healing from Aram's artifact right now that I'm running. The Shimadra staff. It's actually been a nice tech. And I'm kind of enjoying it. Okay, Last Rider Crow almost has his S3 up. We're all good. Harsetti goes down. Aram gonna heal once more. That's almost 3,000 healing on the Abyssal Yufine is crazy. Okay, so now we're just gonna come in, S2, defense break, finally land it. No counter from the Abyssal Yufine, but see, this is where, once your trauma has ended, if you had your Aram up here, she can push the Abyssal Yufine down, and you wouldn't have this turn where you just had to wait and do an S1. You could have actually just trauma dumped on your opponent twice in a row, right? And I don't think anyone can live 2 rounds of trauma dumping, so that is pretty nice. Unfortunately, we couldn't pull it off perfectly, because honestly, that Basaruka was kind of insane, but you get the picture. Okay guys, for our last match here, I thought we'd go out with a bit of a bang and just fight this incredibly aggressive defense team. I'm going to be bringing in a full team of tanks along with Aram here, so that she can potentially, hopefully reset Bellion, hopefully just sustain the team with some healings, or perhaps we can reset FCC for extra skill nulls, or reset Empyrean Ilanov for some extra cleansing, right? We'll see what happens. Ilanov and FCC are really here to stop the Rinnoch from destroying my team turn 1, and Bellion's here is mostly just to do some damage and have some counter attacks, right, to hopefully counter my opponent. So Requiem Rowana is going to go after the Zeo. We're going to probably get our barrier stripped. Oh, there we go. So it's actually not too bad. We got the immunity strip, sorry. Immunity has 3 turn buffs, so it would get stripped before the barriers would. But our Bellion's still nice and healthy here without any of her buffs being stripped. And I do appreciate that. So we're gonna... honestly, we'll go ahead and attack the Rinnoch. See if we can do anything with that. We got reset though, so we can't use our S3 immediately on the Ilanov, but that's okay. Rinnoch's gonna come in with an S3 onto the Fallen Cecilia. No defense penetration, right? At least not full power, so we don't take a whole ton of damage, and FCC mitigates a lot of the splash damage there too. She did take quite a bit because the Aureus is soaking up a lot of damage. Now look at that. Okay, so we are now at a impasse. Do I want to push up the Fallen Cecilia, potentially get a skill nullifier? Actually, no, we don't, we're unbuffable there. Okay, what I'll do is I'll just go for the Rinnoch, heal up the team a little bit. Empyrean Ilanov can cleanse now. We'll just go ahead and take care of the Rinnoch here. And by the time Aram comes back, it's actually going to be huge because Bellion will have put Provoke on everyone on the other side, which is amazing. Okay, so Indomitable basically makes us invincible at this point, and yeah, you can beat these really aggressive teams by kind of tanking down with Aram, and she's really good at sustaining too. Let's go ahead and just provoke the Zeo. There you go, wonderful stuff. Bellion, now let's push everybody back. Let's go ahead and provoke, and we can start doing 3F shenanigans with her. Okay, so we are gonna provoke everyone. Wonderful, I love it, love it, love it. Let's hit the Zeo. Ooh, that's actually a nice little dual attack. Okay, so I think what we'll do now is we'll just push up the Bellion. I know I reset her skills. Honestly, I'm not even gonna S3. I don't need to S3 right now. It's kind of nice if I run out of a defense buff here, but I'm just gonna soul burn the S1, and the 3F, plus the extra damage from the exploiting weak points, plus just Bellion attack in general, yeah, she's gonna finish everybody off. So you can turn a very defensive team into a very offensive team if you have enough tempo with a unit like Aram. But with that being said though, guys, let me know what you guys think of her in the comments down below. What units have you used her with? I know I didn't test her with things like Laia or Dark Corvus in this video, but I would love to do that in a future one, perhaps in Guild Wars. Anyway, with that being said, thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Take care.